Yo, what is going on, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to give you guys my thoughts because apparently the New York Knicks are going after some very interesting names at the trade deadline. So some names have been revealed. I want to break down some rumors about these New York Knicks heading into the trade deadline, because right when OG Anunoby became a Knick and that blockbuster trade happened, I think we all knew that that was the first of many trades. And the trade deadline is low-key right around the corner. And these New York Knicks are coming off a big win last night. They have another game tonight at Madison Square Garden before they host the Toronto Raptors on Saturday night, a game I will be actually attending with the return of RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley at MSG. So in this video, we're going to break down an article because they break down interesting players that the New York Knicks could be targeting for this season at the trade deadline. Now, before we get into the report, I would really appreciate it if you guys can simply hit that thumbs up button right now and subscribe to Knicks Media. And also, more importantly, comment your thoughts of the report that we're about to break down. Some players you want the Knicks to pursue, some players you prefer the Knicks not pursue. Let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts of the video. With that being said, let's dive right in. Now, before we talk about the report, there's a lot of speculation around Quentin Grimes right now. Quentin Grimes is a name that apparently he's grown to be quote-unquote frustrated, and the Knicks are actively shopping him. Now, my first reaction to that is iffy. Now, I already made a video on it a few days ago when the report first came out that the Knicks are looking to move Quentin Grimes, and it is interesting if you think about it, because all the Knicks kids, if you will call it that, when all the Knicks fans were saying, play the kids. Started off with Obi, he's gone. Now it's RJ and Quickley, they're gone. And now Quentin Grimes is the next guy to leave. It is interesting that all the Knicks draft picks that we've been developing seem to be on their way out. So the big thing I have to say about if the Knicks trade away Quentin Grimes, I really hope it's for a big name. I do not want to ship off Grimes for like a role player. I feel like he could be part of a bigger package for the Knicks. So hopefully that's what's going to happen if they do move on from Grimes, but we shall see. So let's get into this article courtesy of Hoops Hype per Michael Scotto. So here is the article. We're going to read it here together, and I'll link it down below in the description as usual, guys, if you want to check out the article for yourself. So here are some Knicks trade targets. The New York Knicks are dangling the expiring contract of Evan Fournier and young asset Quentin Grimes and draft pick compensation for a potential upgrade, league sources told Hoops Hype. While the Knicks have been linked to Hawks guard Murray, as previously reported here on Hoops Hype, New York is gauging the market to see what else that potential package can fetch. Given the recent success the Knicks have had following the OG Anunoby acquisition, New York isn't in a rush to push their chips in for Murray, which is interesting. Several rival executives who spoke with Hoops Hype are already unofficially penciling in Anunoby to re-sign with the Knicks this offseason. That's good to see. New York is considering waiting until the offseason when another star could potentially become available, depending on an asking price fluctuation for Murray and other players over the next few weeks before the deadline. The Knicks are doing the due diligence and looking at various players across the league, including Hornets guard Terry Rozier, Blazers guard Malcolm Brogdon, and former Tom Thibodeau favorite Alec Burks. In addition, the Knicks are surveying the trade market for a backup power forward, league source tells Hoops Hype. Now, somewhere else in this article says something along the lines of the Knicks might not be going after Murray right now because of the interest of what the Hawks are looking to get in return is something like 2 first-round picks, which is a lot. And according to this report, seems like the Knicks might not be willing to pair up first-round picks and Grimes and Fournier for Murray at this point. Now, obviously, things can happen. These are all rumors. I don't really know what to believe anymore in the world of sports media reporting. I mean, I think Michael Scotto and Hoops Hype is a very reliable source, but it's really interesting to hear that they're looking after some, lesser names guys. In, Malcolm Brogdon, we already talked about. I also saw a report earlier today about Bruce Brown being a target for the New York Knicks as well. His name was not listed in this article, but I did see Bruce Brown's name get brought up, I think, by Bondi of Daily News. I could be wrong with the source there. There's a lot of reports, guys, so bear with me here of who's reporting what. So the names that we have to talk about, Alec Burks, Malcolm Brogdon, Terry Rozier. I mean, those are interesting guys, and Bruce Brown. And, of course, DeJounte Murray is the biggest name that the Knicks have been linked to heading into the trade deadline. There is actually another name that was not listed in this specific article that I had to bring up because there's been a lot of buzz around him even a few months ago. And that's DeMar DeRozan. Would DeMar DeRozan be a name that the Knicks fans would be interested in bringing in? Because there's so many guys that we could talk about here. And I really trust Leon Rose because so far all the moves he's made has been pretty good up until this point. And DeMar DeRozan could be headed to New York. It seems like he, individually, DeMar DeRozan, is open to the idea of coming to the New York Knicks. So that's another interesting candidate that the Knicks can pursue by the trade deadline. So let's start off with Alec Burks. Now, am I the only one that's open to it? I don't know. I mean, Alec Burks is like low-key what the Knicks need off the bench, a ball handler, someone that could be a floor general. And I know that Alec Burks is an interesting player because when he was on the Knicks a few years back, he kind of drove some Knicks fans crazy. It's like, why is Thibodeau playing him over quickly? He plays too much. But, like, he's a solid vet that I feel like in a win-now season, if we're going after a lesser name, like a player off the bench, Burks fits that. And I don't think it would take a lot to get Alec Burks back to New York. Now, I'm not going to pound the table for it. I'm not going to say we need to do whatever we need to do to get Burks back here in New York. But I'm not going to lie. I feel like that would be an interesting move for the New York Knicks to bolster up their bench unit because without IQ off the bench and Grimes potentially leaving, we need some type of ball handler coming in when Jalen Brunson's on the bench, and that could be Burks for all we know. Now, another interesting player we already talked about on the channel a few weeks ago is Malcolm Brogdon. I would be very open to Malcolm Brogdon. I think that he'd be another good ball handler off the bench, good defender, very efficient from beyond the arc, a guy that is a win-now piece to this Knicks team. I would be all in for Malcolm Brogdon. Terry Rozier is interesting. He's kind of a polarizing, like, he's a hot and cold type of player. He can come on and just light it up, or he can be ice cold. Not too sure how I feel about Terry Rozier, but Bruce Brown is another guy that I feel like Knicks fans are interested to see what type of talent he'd bring to this Knicks team. Now, he's a pesky rebounder. He would fit into a Tom Thibodeau type of piece, and I think that the Knicks were interested in him in free agency a year or two ago. So the Knicks have been linked to Bruce Brown for a long time. And then, of course, the biggest name is, of course, DeJounte Murray. Now, are the Knicks going to go after DeJounte Murray now? We don't know. It's going to be a big deal. He just hit a game winner for Atlanta. And obviously, he is a very good talent, a very good player. But do the Knicks want to put all their assets into a guy like Murray right now, or do they want to hold on to their assets and wait till this offseason and bring in some, utility guys like a Burks or a Brogdon or a Brown or a Rozier? Those are the guys that I think the Knicks are really trying to figure out. And I feel like these next few games at home is going to really determine where the Knicks pivot. If they go on a win streak and they continue to win big games at home and they can separate themselves in the Eastern Conference and look like a 4th or 5th seed in the playoffs, they might need to get some help here because you look at this Knicks roster, it's good, but you could definitely see a weakness here, especially without Jalen Brunson the last 2 games on Saturday and Monday against the Magic and the Grizzlies. You could tell that we have a big lack of a ball handler and a floor general without Brunson. As great as Deuce McBride played in those 2 games, career high 19, career high 20 the next game, in the clutch, we need a ball handler. And that's what Jalen Brunson brings. And if there's someone that could take the stress off of Jalen Brunson, that could be a Murray for sure. It could be a Brogdon. Maybe it's even Alec Burks. I'm not too sure. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, guys. Who are some players you're interested in the Knicks to go after and bring in this trade deadline? Woo! A lot of names to talk about, a lot of different guys to discuss. Sound off in the comment section. Do not forget to hit the thumbs up button if you did not already. My name is Richie from Knicks Media. Catch you guys next time. Let's go Knicks. Peace out, everybody.